For this topic, how do we improve the Filipino mindset? So, I have to give an example, right? Just a few examples, like, for example, Philippines, they would prefer everyone to have a degree or master's of some sort. Hong Kong is a different story though. Like, after high school, just get out there and work. You gotta help with the family. We have a lot of expenses to pay. It's a consistent norm that, for my experience, about above 60% didn't really achieve anything in uni and didn't know what course they actually wanted or something to pursue. They just went out there to work because they needed to help.
To help the family?
That's just one though, whatever comes to mind. Yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, I don't know, because like the Filipino mindset, not like there's anything wrong with it, but it's just like, it's in a way limited by so many other factors, like there's a crab mentality and like, I don't know, like history of, I don't know, like pakitang tao, and it's just like we're just rooted in like so much traditions that shouldn't anymore apply to this day and age and stuff. But on education wise, like,
We're focused in Hong Kong, by the way. So.
Yeah. So, but education wise, I don't know, because somehow like it's also like a debate about like, oh, how do you attribute success? Like, do you do it by like, like by title alone and what you've achieved, or like, like, oh, I'm have a stable job, I'm able to live the life I want, or something like that. So parang in that sense, yeah, you're saying that in Hong Kong it's a lot of like, not a lot of, like you said, it's not a necessity to have a degree and stuff. So most of the jobs here aren't really like rooted in like
Having
It's not in their favor.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't take studies seriously and they didn't master the language that they need to actually have here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
limited
didn't finish
opportunities.
university in Philippines, you could still have a lot of opportunities in terms of roles, okay?
Yes.
But here, not so much if you're just limited to English.
True.
Unless if you're a real good specialist in something that they need, that even though if you can't speak, then sure, but there's not much that are specialized because they didn't really finish.
Well, most Filipinos don't really finish, not just because they don't want to. It's also with money, with finance. Maybe, maybe families might need help, so they start working right away. And then maybe throughout their working career, they can save up to study, but some may not because they have their own family, or they're having families, they need to help support their own family and friends maybe. Because we like to help others instead of, like, sometimes we forget to think about ourselves. So we're like, okay, let's help this person, let's help that person. And the other thing, if you help people, you show face. And then I don't think a lot of people do finish because of finance, and they just want to help others, not themselves.
That's just on education though. Like, there's probably a lot more that hasn't popped out yet.
Yeah.
So, anything else on your mind?
I guess expectations, meaning you have to represent yourself well. You can't move out because you're supposed to help the family. But then if you move out, you're going to forget about us. You're going to, you only think about yourself. That's the other mindset people talk about. Like, oh, it's hard for me to move out because my family says this, or people say this. So there's hearsays.
It's like a lot about like the unit, the Filipino like family unit. It's like you're kind of like not really tied down, but you're like expected to, like, even if you cut loose or have your own life, like you said, you need to send something back to support them. It's like most of your, it's like even if you have your own dreams, it's tied to like how to help in the whole, they need to benefit from it as well. And if you don't give back, you look like a selfish child.
But not all families are like that. I know some families are learning to understand, like, being Western, you could say. They would, some families would say, oh, you're just copying your Western friends that they're moving out, you're going to move out too. So it's us to explain the changes. I feel like sometimes it's hard to explain to them na this is normal. This is how we're going to grow. They should also understand then that this is not just for me. Diba? You could see me grow, and once you see me grow, I can help you. Because if you want me to help you now, I can't. Because
I was thinking of that.
yeah, because you're also going
through something.
Yeah.
And on that sense, you're like sometimes like what's the thing about they're not aware of like wanting, what's the word? Parang your psychological. Parang like Filipino families aren't aware of like depression and all these things. Like they don't. They just
Pressure.
like they're like parang they're like, oh, you can just, why are you feeling sad? Like I don't know. They don't know of that. Like parang they think it's a.
They're not educated with that.
Yeah.
They would either brush it off and say, "You're overreacting."
Yeah. Or like, get over it.
Get over it.
Yeah. They think.
Think positive. I feel like that's their way to cut the emotion or awkwardness because they were not taught to talk about feelings. That's what I notice in most families. Yeah, like speaking.
I don't know. Like it's like I'm not gonna say who, right? But I know people that are almost 30 or in their 30s or over 30 and they're still living with mom and dad. They're still under the roof.
Yeah.
Right. And because I gotta help, I gotta contribute. But I'm a strong believer of let them out first so they can experience what the world is. And when you're living alone, you have so much bills to pay. You gotta take care of your laundry. You need to get everything in order. And you're no longer in that point where you can be comfortable because if you can't pay, you're out. Right. So you tend to start thinking for yourself to achieve the best version of you. And when you achieve that best version of you, then you can actually help out and provide.
Exactly.
You want to say something?
Yeah,
I can feel
I'm like,
it.
I want to add to that because there's nothing wrong living with your family. I asked someone before, like, oh, don't you want to move out? They said, I would want to move out, but then if I can still live here, I could still save up and learn my way. I would still deal with like my parents like nagging.
They're paying for everything though. If they're paying for everything, that's a different story. I'm talking about like contributing and they're all paying together, or they need to contribute a portion. So that's pretty different compared to if you're taking care of everything. Then I still need to get my shit together.
I'm meaning like help with the family bills and stuff,
expenses.
And for example, like I got a friend, and COVID happened. Mom and dad don't got work. They need support. Mom and dad are already retired. There's so many things they can learn, right? Like, for example, I am one of those where I'm very looked at as you just want to sell me something, but I give advice more than just what I do, right? So the government can actually provide for people who are 65 and above for monthly income, ranging 8 to 9K. So mom and dad now, my friend's mom and dad is getting 8 to 9K a month each. So that's like 16 to 18K to help the family, government paying. And we pay tax. We contribute to tax. So if our family, when they retire, are not receiving any of these benefits, our tax money is going to other retired residents. Or for school, I don't have the money. They don't want to loan from the government programs to get these support to finish uni, but we're paying tax. Again, I'll repeat that, we're paying tax. So if it doesn't go to the children and they don't get the government loan support for schooling, the interest is so low, right? And they can pay it back. Like I took government loan support and I'm literally paying back, well, I only finished my higher diploma. I'm paying back $189 a month with 0.01% interest. Very tiny. And they're like, oh, but I'm committed to the loan for the next 10, 15 years. Yeah, but you're paying bills for life. So if it's just 180 or 200, 500, 1,000, depending on what course you took anyway, you have to know what you're signing. But if you don't get these benefits and make use of it and always have an excuse of why, what I'm trying to say here is like, we have to expand the mind more and be open to learn more things. Like probably whatever I said now, viewers, not all of them would know about it. But there's a solution. And yes, the government housing, right?
Yep.
I think the willingness to learn is a big thing for us, but not a lot of us are willing to push ourselves and actually use Google, because the internet has everything. You
All
could
the
just
information.
search.
I've heard of, sorry to say, ridiculous stories of, parents didn't want to do the government housing application because they didn't want to go through the
all that.
paperwork. but hey, your rent is 15,000 or 20,000, but when you get the house that's larger than your current house for 2,000 to 3,000, I don't get it, right?
Like they don't want to put in the work to get something that's actually.
Well, I don't have time for that. That's
They'll make
very-
excuses.
Or there's a lot of papers to
So there's
write.
actually a lot of solutions. To be honest,
Yeah.
they will have a lot of support from our government if we're gonna make use of the resources. And again, everyone's paying tax. I'll keep repeating that. So you gotta make use of it, because it's a waste of your tax contribution yearly.
How do you think people would learn how to like deal with these stuff? How could we?
Like, how do we help the next generation to get over those
Be more open.
hurdles?
Stop listening to what you hear always and start questioning why they said that.
Exactly.
And question things around you rather than believe whatever
Yeah,
you
like,
hear.
do your own.
Right? Because everything, like, I'm not here to offend. I'm not going to say only the Filipino, but any nationality, if the programming from the past family is passed on to this generation, it's going to get passed on
just
and passed
repeat
on
it
and passed on.
repeat
So
it.
instead of just accepting what was passed on, why not question it and study more outside and be curious?
Yeah.
That's why I do kinetic outcome interviews as well. I get to question people. I get to learn from you.
Yeah.
And I'm open. There's no barrier. I'm not going to debate with you because that's your point of view. But I learned something.
Yeah.
So every interview, everyone I meet, I get to learn something different because they all have different point of views.
Yeah.
And you're interviewing people who have succeeded in what they actually wanted. How did they get there? Read books. You want to learn about known millionaires, buy their books because it's like getting free advice from them, but you're reading the book. You're not with them in person, but you're getting the knowledge.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's easier now to connect with people, because in Facebook you could easily
Just message whoever.
someone, or in the website you could actually get their contacts and message them.
Yeah. Like you said, like Google, like the resources are there. You just need to put in the work to like actually find what it is you're looking for.
Yeah. So I guess that's about it. But of course, we want everyone to actually comment and discuss with each other. It's not only our opinions. Yeah. But yeah, once again, Mars
What na?
and
Kita kits.
so we're gonna get that better in the next episodes to come. So
Yeah.
We need to
kinetic outcome.
Our aim is to provide value, so if you like what you watched, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'm also a financial advisor based in Hong Kong, so feel free to check the description box for my details and email or DM. And if ever you need video and photography services, the phenomenal videos you're watching right now are filmed by 𝙁Mendoza. Lastly, if you love hip-hop music, rap, R&B, singing, whichever that sounds amazing to your ears, because I always do a lot of experiments with it, feel free to drop by my channel at 𝑠cfsaint or Saint Crossfade. Appreciate you for being part of this episode and more to come. Till next time.